Hey everybody, Dr. Kevin Hyde here, Pinellas Anxiety Specialist. Day 29 of the 30 days of live videos. So just today and tomorrow left. I'll still be going after that, so if you have any suggestions, things you'd want me to cover, any questions about anything mental health related, please send them my way. Today I want to talk about what happens when we try and control our emotions, because it's a really common thing that we do when we have any of those negative emotions, or what we would consider negative emotions like anxiety, sadness, depression, any of those things, we want to avoid them. And so when we end up having those emotions, we do things to try and control it, to try and not think about it, to push it away. That could be things like distracting ourselves with being on our phones all the time. It could be turning to alcohol. It could be like with panic disorder. It could be that you just stay at home and you don't go out places to try and avoid having those anxieties, those panic feelings and sensations come up. And so when we try and do that, does that work? Well, not really, right? What ends up happening is it's almost like if I told you not to think about a pink elephant for the next 30 seconds. And typically when I do this in my office, people tell me that pretty much right away they start thinking about the pink elephant, because our brains are not very good at the whole do not do this, do not think of this thing. What happens is those thoughts, those emotions that we're trying to control and push down end up coming back even stronger. And oftentimes it ends up being that we end up suffering more because we're so focused on it, because we're trying to push it away. And so what I like to do with the people I work with is work on this idea of acceptance, that recognizing that emotions are fleeting, all right? They aren't permanent. We're not always going to feel anxious. We're not always going to feel depressed. And even when we feel those things, we can do the things that are important to us. So instead of like trying to push those things away, sort of just setting them down in front of us, right? Laying them on our lap and continuing to function. And it seems like a crazy concept at first. Like, why would we want to, practice acceptance with something that is bad, right? And as I talked about in my last video about anxiety, most people would say that anxiety is bad, but actually we know that anxiety is the only reason that our species has survived to this point. And so for a lot of emotions, there is that reason why we have it. There is some reason why it's been there to help us survive to this point. And when you're in the middle of it in today's society, it might not seem like it's helpful or useful or good. But by putting those labels of bad on it, it really makes us want to struggle with those things, to try and push them away, to try and control them. And as I said, that just leads to more suffering. And so we can help come up with, we have some strategies, we have some techniques that we can help you to be able to set those emotions aside, to not try and shove them away, to get rid of them, but allow them to be and do the things that are important to you. Because what we usually find happens is that if you're doing the things that are important to you, even if you're feeling some kind of a distress, then your day's going to be okay. You're going to be able to look back and say that you're doing pretty well, that your life is going pretty well, because you're doing the things that are meaningful and fulfilling to you. All right, guys, that's all I want to talk about today with that control struggle. There's all sorts of things that we can get into with that further. So if you want any more information, please reach out. Again, leave a comment below, shoot me a message. We can talk more about it further. But otherwise, hope you guys have a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow for day 30, our final day. All right, you guys take care.